Listo, listo, gracias. Buenas tardes a todos, ¿cómo están? Amigos de habla hispana, mi nombre es Poncho, también conocido como Angel Freak. Y bueno, aquí estoy para presentarles a dos personas que no necesitan introducción. Vamos a tener este stream, va a ser en inglés. Les comento un poquito sobre la historia. Tenemos un match, el primer match va a ser Kotir contra Kao. Kao es un jugador de Puerto Rico, quien ganó los últimos 2 torneos Running Rumble. Derivado de esto, pues por ahí hubo, no diferencias, pero ya saben ustedes, la clásica sal de gané y no quieren jugar conmigo porque tienen miedo, etcétera, culpando un poquito por ahí al lag, que Kotir le echaba la culpa al lag y que por eso no quería jugar con él. Entonces, pues bueno, se hizo este money match, le pusimos fecha y como no hay fecha que no llegue o plazo que no se cumpla, pues bueno, aquí estamos. Entonces, los voy a dejar con Sugar Bear y Aruli, y ellos van a tomar el control del stream a partir de ahora. So, hi, Sugar.
Angel, how are you, sir?
I'm fine, thank you.
Thanks for having us again.
On the contrary, Arul, how are you, guys? My guy.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm, real flattered to be here. That you guys thought to ask me to commentate this very exciting night of matches that you guys have lined up for us.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you all for joining us tonight on the Arcade Rumble League stream. We've got 2 exciting exhibitions to bring to you tonight. We were originally going to start with Robert and Andy, but we're actually going to start with Kotir Cal, followed by Robert and Andy. Robert and Kotir representing Arcade Rumble League, and Andy and Cal representing Team Winston. Both of these matches are going to be first to 10s, and both of these matches are also money matches, 500 pesos each on the line per game. So exciting stuff. And considering the fact that it's first to 10s, we're really going to get a chance to see the players breathe and show us what they can do as far, as best they can do in an online format. So it'll be exciting to see how the matches evolve and what these players have to offer.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, man. So everybody knows these players at this point, right? Like you guys, I think everybody is keeping up with all the stuff that's going on in as far as like the online leagues that are happening, online tournaments. All these guys make it very far every single time that they enter a tournament, right? And now, Sugar Bear, you were telling me a little bit about the history going into this match, right?
For sure.
How about you tell the viewers?
Absolutely. So there is a little bit of lore here, and we're going to lay that on you real quick. So here's the general gist. I think we just had a Ronin Rumble this past weekend. The Ronin Rumble before that, I think it was that one. Cal ended up taking it, and he ended up taking it over Robert in grand finals. And to be fair, he ran through him. That's just the fact of the matter. And I think following that, Robert was not too happy, and Cal is definitely feeling himself. Now, in the coming weeks after that, the Arcade Rumble League formed, and because of connection issues, Cal was not able to join. And Cal responded to that by saying, yeah, it has nothing to do with connection. The fact of the matter is you guys are afraid of me because I'm going to come in there and bury you all. Obviously paraphrasing, but this was the gist of the situation. I think Cal was, sort of posturing on Twitter for a few weeks. And then about 2 weeks ago, Kotir stepped forward and said, hey, man, time to put your money where your mouth is. Let's settle this. And you're probably asking, where did Andy come into all this? Andy was just sort of an innocent bystander. He sort of stepped in and said, I'll front Cal the money. And the second he said that, Robert was like, oh, yeah? Well, you're fighting too. I challenge you, Andy. So speak and you fight. So pretty interesting stuff. Really both compelling matches in their own right. Since we're starting with Kotir and Cal, as you mentioned, two incredibly strong players, but if I am not mistaken, there is an extra wrinkle to this. If someone wants to correct me in the chat, please do. But I think I have heard that Cal struggles, with Earthquake. I don't know if it's Earthquake in general or just Kotir's Earthquake, but that's what I've heard, which surprises me a little bit because you'd think that Earthquake having that blind spot and being as big as he is, Darley would handle that matchup well. What are you thinking going into this one?
Yeah, that's a good point. Like that blind spot right above his head, which is exactly where Darley wants to be. I would imagine that would make things very difficult for Earthquake. But of course, Kotir is a very studied, scientific player. You kind of have to be if you play this character Earthquake. You have to know every single angle better than your opponent. And I suspect that Kotir will be ready, and he won't make it easy for Cal to get to that spacing, So I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Yeah, for sure. And I was thinking in my head, Kotir has secondaries. He's been messing with a Roja. And I was thinking, well, is this character locked? I don't really think character lock has anything to do with this, at least not this matchup, because this is an old-fashioned net play street fight as far as I'm concerned. Online tactics, a little bit of lag, do what you have to do to win in this one. So this will be exciting.
Yeah, 500 paces on the line. You got to do what you got to do.
For sure. And there's definitely feelings behind this one. Go ahead, Arun.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So I think I'm going to call it like I see it, right? Like, I think Darley benefits a lot more than Earthquake from the online environment because she's more of like a do things and force you to react type of character than Earthquake, who's kind of the opposite, where he kind of wants to control you and put hitboxes in places that you want to be before you even get there, right? But like online, that makes it much harder to do. That said, Kotir has made it work, so it's really anyone's game. I think it's going to be interesting because it's like kind of a clash of styles.
Yeah, and I don't think either of these are. I agree with you that I couldn't make a call. We're gonna have to see how things play out. Sort of piggybacking off of what you had said, Darley, we talk about the credibility of playing online sometimes. Even for studying matchups, some people question the credibility of playing online. And for the most part, I disagree, but Darley is one of those matches I believe that online it's a totally different animal because a few frames of input delay makes a big difference when you're trying to handle that jump C. Her jump arc is the fastest in the game at 42 frames, if I'm not mistaken. So some input delay makes a big difference here.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially when you're dealing, you were talking about this before, actually. You were talking about how Kyoshiro's, some of his DPs are quite slow. Adding on any sort of like input delay from the net play environment makes for a really, tough recipe for players to deal properly with that anti-air. Or sorry, with that jump in button.
For sure. And I think, regarding most of the matchups in the game, I think Darley is the one that when you're online, it is definitely markedly different from offline.
Yeah.
So we're going to see how it plays out. One thing about Kotir I do want to point out before we hop in, a lot of interesting movement on the opponent's wake up with his Earthquake. A lot of hopping, corpse hopping, mixing up the highs and the lows. That to me is one of the most unique things about Kotir is how he dances over your body on wake up. A lot of really interesting movement options there.
Yeah, I've noticed that as well. He makes very good use of the very few kind of like Oki options that Earthquake has available to him, and he forces you to think of them all, and that makes you, in a way, he's able to condition you a lot better than the other way around.
For sure. I totally agree. And, it just stuck out to me so much when I was playing him because you think Earthquake, big boy, a lot of trouble moving around on the ground. How flashy can he get? But when you throw that belly in or that butt, that 6-6B, I think in, and he can hop over the corpse. And before you know it, you're confused with that, with that big boy, he can move.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously, both these players play online quite a bit. I'm sure they have a good bit of matchup experience against both their characters. So I think it's going to be a really good set to watch. We might see some really deep mind games, a lot of good conditioning going on. So I'm very excited.
For sure.
I think one thing I want to point out. Sorry to cut you off, but I was going to say I think Kao is one thing a lot of people don't really talk about is that he's really good at conditioning people. He plays in such a disrespectful way. It makes people behave a certain way, and he's got a lot of practice in predicting the way that you're going to respond to some of the stuff that he does. So I guess we're going to see if Kotir is easily conditioned or if he is a stubborn dude.
Good point. Yeah, I think Cal gets the reputation sometimes of just being wild and just doing things just to do them. And I think it's a little bit deeper than we give him credit for.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think it's a very, I think it's there's a lot of intricate things going on in the background that that's kind of lost, I think, on a lot of people. They see things, especially in this game, Samurai Showdown. It's kind of an ugly game to watch, let's be real. It's a lot of stuff that happens. You're like, why the hell did he do that, And that's doubly true with Kao.
Did you see that opening sort of gambit there? It was the instant air elbow trading with the 5B. We already got some weird stuff happening.
Yeah, and that was actually a really good trade for Kotir. Multi-hitting moves, of course, not very good to trade with.
Very good. Very good reaction from Kotir. That is not easy to do in the online environment at all.
Absolutely. And we were talking about how it was going to be a matter of, nice jump over the throw attempt.
Decides just to throw for the punish, so that wasn't necessarily optimal, but he got some damage, so no complaints.
Very nice air-to-airs going on. He's using that jump kick very well to control that spacing, that jump area, which is very hard for him to deal with normally.
And there's that interesting movement on wake up we talked about earlier. And Cal, was that a punish?
That might have been a punish on hit.
I'm confused.
I'm not sure about the frame data, but that looks like it might have been a punish on hit. I don't know.
It definitely happens with some normals in this game. It's not unheard of, but I wasn't sure about that situation. We'll have to see if that comes into play again later. Cal developing something of an early lead in the second round.
That was a lovely 6-6D anti-air there. Very nice. The use of this guy's buttons are so good. I'm in awe,
Yeah, for sure. Ooh. Nah, I think Cal got a little bit too jumpy there. He didn't need to do that.
That's nice. A really good option though. That flame breath. It seems it's so active that jump C actually will never beat it.
For sure. You're right. And she does have an incredibly fast jump, but it is quite shallow. So I think she in particular is susceptible to that fire breath. Ooh,
threading the needle. Very nice from Cal.
And this is the first time we've seen Kotir corner, but nice pop from Cal. He had to do it.
Oh my goodness.
JC closes it out.
So I think he expected Cal to stay grounded and maybe even like go for like a throw or something. And that's why he threw out that instant air elbow.
Last thing in the world he wanted right there. Kotir, just a little bit of meter left, and he was able to make use of it. And now Cal weaponless in the final round here. Kotir with all of his resources, and Cal is going to struggle to get that weapon back.
That was a really nice tick throw there.
Again with the elbow.
Has Cal ever blocked in his life? Oh, and he blocks the entire thing. Maybe, is Earthquake too fat for that thing to like randomly cross him up?
I actually feel like I've heard someone mention that recently. Because my first thought was that's going to cross up. And I don't think he blocked that cross up. He blocked that all in one direction. I'm pretty darn sure.
I think so too. That could be a very interesting matchup wrinkle to take into account in this set.
For sure. And I think it was a relatively even close match, but Kotir takes it. And really, now you're talking about something specific. Did that or did that not cross up? And you're wondering about the matchup in itself. Does Cal have any place to go here if Darley isn't working out? Now, I'm not really sure he does, but getting a little ahead of ourselves there.
Yeah, I mean, it's the first game. It's first to 10. They got a lot of time to figure each other out. So
we'll see.
Everybody should get comfortable.
All right. Kotir up 1.
Nice jump back A.
Jeez.
Oof. Good block on the low, but no, I'm not sure if he could even punish there. Nice cross up.
Good cross up.
Oh my goodness, is that gonna catch? No, that was so close though.
Oh, I respect it, but just too far. Oh, and that one got him. Wow.
That was a beautiful anti-air, like perfectly spaced.
So hard to do that. But just confident, incredibly confident.
So I think this is a good time to point out that they're doing some stuff that's really hard to do even offline. So I'm not sure. Maybe the connection seems decent? Question mark? Or they're just psychic.
Yeah, I mean, from where I'm sitting, it actually does look pretty decent, but I am surprised about some of these, especially the air-to-air buttons. That's super hard to do online.
Absolutely.
Ooh, did you see that wall jump? That could have potentially crossed up maybe if he stood still. I don't know. A lot of interesting stuff from both players. Kotir taking the first round, though.
Yeah, very convincingly. As soon as he landed that anti-air WFT, it was curtains.
Yeah, and people typically say you lost your weapon, you lost the round, but I can say from my own experience, it is not. It's actually quite hard to keep the opponent off the weapon, but he handled that really well.
I would certainly agree.
Cal
just doesn't block, man.
Pressing a lot of buttons. Again? No. Now, can Cal punish properly this time?
That was all right.
Yeah. A C, actually. C.
Nice air to air. That was so good. It's like he knew before Cal even left the ground.
That was preemptive, I'm pretty sure. Good punish from Cal.
Oh, wow. That was really good. The jump forward and then the jump back. Kotir has been jumping forward and pressing A a lot, so Cal he sniffed that out, and he's already starting to adjust with the jump back C, taking that round very clean.
Yeah, twice in that round, the jump back butt from Kotir whiffed, which is surprising because it was such a big factor in the first round, but that round it cost him.
Beautiful whip punch. Oh, wow, okay. Just wakes up not blocking.
Aye. Good dodge. Again, J.A.
Nice air to air. He's playing so close with this Earthquake right now. It's very, it's not where you normally see Earthquake players try to be.
No, and he's just so mobile. And if you ever put your hands on Earthquake, at least on the ground, this guy's hard to pilot. So making him look light as a feather, not easy to do. But while I was talking, Cal closes out over Kotir, evening it up 1-1. No,
bro, he never left the. He was always in the air.
Well, why wouldn't you be? You know what I mean? Can you blame him? But like. No meter spent on either side there. No burst. Kotir dies with that meter. Yeah.
That's funny. Cal has never really been known for like good use of resources. Textbook good, but he uses it in very unorthodox ways that sometimes ends up working out for him.
Do you mean resources like bar or even like SSM?
I mean just the rage. I think he's pretty good with the SSM.
For sure. And he's not afraid to throw it out because a lot of times, I don't know, I'd say more than 50% of the time, SSM never comes into play unless it's like an obvious punish. But Cal is not afraid to throw it out. And that might be the right move sometimes. Or
yeah,
why
absolutely.
die with it there? Okay. A little bit of space this time.
Oh. Wow, okay, nice. Punishes the jump C on hit again, I think.
2 5Cs in a row, a lot of damage. Kotir, he looked like he was in a tough spot, but he was able to wiggle out. Cal not blocking again.
Yeah, so far I think he's gotten hit by every single forward kick into Fire Breath, but I'm not sure.
Ooh.
Nice.
Wow. Pressing very hard, cost him his life. Round 1, Kotir.
Yeah, I feel like he just kind of wanted that round to end and go into the next round. I feel like he should have, I think, tried to lame it out a bit more to get that rage meter ran out, but nice. So that's good. Usually he's been going for the low after the air reset, but this time he changed it up and went with the command throw.
Again, those running Darley buttons, surprisingly hard to react to, especially that 6-6C.
Yeah, I would even say that they're impossible to react to. But I'm just a scrub. Nice instant block into the just defense, or into the guard cancel.
Probably the one time where Earthquake being so big is to his benefit. His push block is very good.
That's true, and also we saw it a couple times in the last round, but he can actually get punishes on hit or on block that normally wouldn't be able to happen for other characters.
Again.
Very nice. Wow. He's so good at that.
And Cal's in a really bad spot. Oop, gets his button back though. Props to that. Andy bursts. Good call.
Wow.
What?
That was really good. Holy shit.
What happened? All right, here we go. Third round. Cal makes it here, which is what's most important, but he's lost his resource.
Oh, that was such a smart forward kick there. Caught him jumping up.
Kotir creating more space this time. He's been pressuring a lot, but he's backing up a little bit up until this point. There's that corpse hop. JC.
Chasing each other out. Nice. Sticking out the 5C exactly when Cal wants to advance.
Got the job done, but that trade was not in Kotir's favor.
Oh no, I don't believe this is gonna hit.
No. I don't know what that was, but it didn't work.
Oh, there we go. That was a cross up right there. Ooh. Again, the cross up. Is he going for another? Yes, he is.
Now that one did not. I don't think that crossed up there.
No, that one stayed in front.
So I'm super interested about this now. Does Earthquake actually get crossed up? Anyways, JA, very close here, but Kotir has the resource.
Nice, run forward, command grab. This is gonna be very close now.
Now at this point, do you just pop? I don't know. Nice JC.
I think he's saving it just in case it gets thrown.
He definitely didn't need it. He closed it out quite well. You know, story of the round, there's a lot of things going on, but the JAs from Kotir, and a lot of them are preemptive. He seems to know exactly when Cal wants to jump.
Yep, the A's and the kicks as well, the D's.
Yes. So I think, is that 3-1? If I'm not mistaken, are we seeing this right, or is that 2-1?
I think that's 2-1.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 2-1.
Got it. Back into it.
You know, it's still pretty back and forth. Nobody's come to like a really huge realization on how the other guy plays yet, so.
And there really has, no drastic changes in play style. What's working is working for Kotir. I think the onus is sort of on Cal now to figure something out.
Yeah, absolutely. He's found that, as long as he times the surfs right, it is like a viable mix-up against this Earthquake. And Cal is, of course, the master of surfing.
And to Kotir's credit, he has not really been getting cornered a lot. I think that's a lot to do with why he's being successful with Speak of the Devil.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned his movement. It's probably top-notch. One of the best Earthquakes, I think, that we've seen.
For sure. JD, dodge, punished by the JC, cross up, throws. WFT.
That was a very okay. Chooses the
choice.
Rage Explode there. I'm not so sure. Let's see if he gets anything out of it.
Yeah, I'm willing to
Nice
give him the
job.
benefit of the doubt, but it's not working out so far. However, he does have a decisive lead, but he needs to take this round. If he doesn't take this round, having spent that resource, there's no way to justify that.
Yeah, I mean, Rage Bar with Darlie is very valuable too because she rages very quickly, so you're gonna have a lot of chances to rage during the course of the game.
Now that jump was smart. He didn't have to deal with the high or the low. He just got out of there. But right now he's in a tough spot. JC evens it up. Kotir is actually in the deficit now. Cross up.
Oh, beautiful jump back. Barely jumps away from the range of the jump C and counter pokes with his own jump B.
Good stuff. JA. JB.
Good whiff punish on the whiffed far B. I think he wanted the close B to anti-air there, but he pressed the button a little too early.
And Kotir stops blocking there. Surprisingly enough, he had a really decisive lead. Cal brings it a little bit closer now.
He's in that corner now. Oh, and that's going to do a ton of damage. Never mind.
And I feel like Darlie really needs to get him in that corner, but he just hasn't been able to do it. Wow.
Jesus, this guy is so terrifying with that
Wow.
rage. And this is pretty much over now.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
That's hard to do, people. Like, I don't know if
Yo, he's making this look so easy, but yeah, that is really fucking hard to do.
You're staring down a train, essentially, and letting it rip. That's wild. Good stuff. Good stuff to Kotir. Now, Cal, I don't know if Cal's a take a second kind of guy, but it's starting to get to that point where maybe you think about it a little bit. Doesn't look to be the case. Back into it.
I mean, he does have other characters that he's very proficient with, but yeah, it looks like he's sticking with Darlie. I've seen Kao actually mess with Yoshitora a bit.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right.
A lot of Earthquake players, they really hate that matchup, so
For sure.
that's definitely a thing that Kao might consider.
Still pretty early, but he doesn't, a couple more losses and he's starting to get away with it. You know what I mean? If you're going to turn around, I really think it's optimal to start doing that now. You can't take too many more losses before you start to panic. Okay. Sort of a slow start here.
Wow, a lot of respect so far. Oh no, thought he had the combo.
It looked like Cal is trying to keep it a little bit more grounded, perchance. Maybe just he's recognized the air is not.
Oh, he tried to anti-air with the 6-6C there, but it got beat out by the jump C. Nice cross under anti-air.
Kotir keeping it mid-screen, doing everything he can to keep it mid-screen. JA. Oof, just walked into that.
Lovely far C.
Ooh,
Nice jump
JC.
back C.
Okay. You sort of have him in the danger zone now. You can't let him out, but there it is. WFT. Does it
Choosing
first.
not to rage.
Yeah, I think that was the right choice.
I would agree. Nice, chases the forward roll.
He just needs to play it patient, and he gets his weapon back. Good stuff.
Oh no!
Could not have been what he wanted. Or no, well, I maybe just didn't see him rolling back. Regardless, it cost him.
Oh, beats the close B with the jumping kick. Nice anti-air there.
Oof. Not quite. Right now he's cornered. I feel like you really can't let him get out. And he just,
Yeah, that was really good defense from Kotir.
super slippery with this big man. Yeah,
Big trade in Cal's favor.
Definitely worthwhile. Ooh.
Nice block. Good awareness of that option. Kotir, that's the first time you do that this entire set.
Yeah, and it makes me question whether or not it was intentional. No, I think, yep, he's gonna eat it. Finish it? Okay.
Nice.
1-1.
Kao, this is a very important game for Kao. I mean, you don't want to be down 4-1.
No, that's panic territory. I think he needs to do whatever he can to take this. Main grab. I think he's having Cal, have second thoughts about his movement, and it's opening him up to other options. Ooh, no punish.
You see how quickly he disengages. As soon as that Darlie starts neutral jumping in his face like that, he like takes a lot of risks to get out. Oh wow, okay.
I think it was the right choice. I mean, it was probably a little bit more health than we normally want to do that, but it's getting him off of you.
This is terrifying now. As soon as Darley starts running at you, oh my goodness, that is so hard to block.
He jumped. I think he jumped. Not sure what he was looking for there, but it looked like he jumped.
I think so. I think the way he died means that he was in the air.
Yeah. So Cal bringing it a little bit closer now, 3-2 in Kotir's favor. So it's interesting. It really, as we said earlier, the onus is on Cal now to do something. Kotir, everything seems to have been working, and I don't really feel like there was any specific change that really stuck out there. Cal had to grind that match out, so I feel like the onus is still on Cal. He needs to figure out the adjustment, because that easily could have been Kotir's game. There was nothing convincing about that, if you catch my drift.
I would agree. I would definitely agree there. But like, I don't know, Cal's a very scrappy type of player, so like a lot of times he'll win and it like doesn't look convincing, but he'll just like make it happen so consistently, you know what I mean? And you can't argue with results.
No, not at all. Okay. Once again, starting out space, sort of in and out. Kotir 1 keep in the middle of the screen. Cal out to an early lead with a JC and a throw punish. Again with the throw.
Very good read so far from Cal.
And it's paid off. He's got a pretty convincing lead so far. Now he has to find out how to not eat that WFT, and I think he's out of range there.
Good punish.
Wow, very good punish.
Maximizes it. Oh, wow.
A little bizarre.
A little too tricky for his own good, and that's going to be the round. Oh, my goodness.
No, you hate to see it. That actually happened to me last night. It happens, but now you still got to close it out regardless. Oh, boy. Couldn't get the
we little lag spike there.
I think Earthquake's just a little too big. He couldn't reach that weapon.
Nice air to air. Oh, the butt.
Hey, what are we going to do here, Cal?
20 seconds. Kotir surviving on a sliver of health.
Oh my goodness. He just needs to keep it cool. Earthquake is one of those characters where you start to panic, you start to eat damage. I don't know.
Dude, he had such a huge life lead, and he just took all this damage for no reason and lost the round because of it. All he had to do was run for 20 seconds.
And now you gotta start thinking, like, do you start to panic? Let's see how Cal responds here. Can he keep his composure right now? Okay, did not just eat that flame breath. That's a good start.
Nice bait, but no capitalization there.
Okay, eats the throw. He's currently in rage. It's gone. Has a chance for some damage. Nice jump C.
Nice.
Kotir. He's so squirrely. You just can't keep him in the corner for long.
Yeah, man, he plays so like in your face for an Earthquake. I like he just chooses to jump forward a lot and uses those, isn't afraid to use those jump A's, just to like win back the screen space, you know?
Yeah, because I think he knows what are his buttons up close, so he picks them wisely.
Very nice jump back.
He's just really controlling the air with that little JA.
Oh my goodness! Again, no rage explosion from Cal. I think
Second time.
I think that time there was a case for not using it there, because you know Kotir had like no health left. One good hit would have been enough to take that round. So I agree with that actually.
I don't know. I sort of am in the camp of spend the resource just to get that next game. That next game isn't guaranteed, but you know he made the choice. It didn't work out that time. We're looking at 4-2 right now. Still a lot of games left to be played here, but Kotir does have a 2-game lead over Cal.
That was, I mean, you brought it up last game where it looked like it wasn't very convincing for Cal. This game, it wasn't that convincing for Kotir. He had to fight real hard to bring it back by the skin of his teeth. And really, I think Cal kind of just let him have it in both those rounds.
Yeah, when you see people walking into those 5Cs, and I've definitely been on the receiving end of that many times, it's just sort of, it's a great button for when they get into your head. You're just going to start eating them. But as I'm standing back looking at it now, I really feel like Cal needs to find a way to corner Kotir and keep him there. He's just not been able to do that. He's pushing him there. Nice punishment. Nice. Grab.
Good jump back C there.
There you go.
Nice. He needs to hold that spacing as much as he can, like right there. That neutral jump spacing is so hard, I think, for Earthquake to deal with.
And it's just a scary thing to be staring down. That jump C is, frightening button. Interesting neutral there playing right here, and he pops round 1. He's got a little bit of a lead. Questionable decision, but he's walking in those 5 Cs.
Oh my goodness, that was so brave going for that 660 anti-air. If that had not connected, he would have been eating a full E-Sen.
Now he closes it out. Whether or not you agree with him spending the resource, it's open for debate, but he closed it out, which is what he had to do at that point.
Good block and good jump back C from Cal.
Kotir trying to apply some pressure here. He's got that WFT on board. And Cal definitely changed up his spacing a little bit. And Kotir pops, which was a wide decision because that was deep.
Chase down.
Nice E-Sen. Just about evens it up. Kotir in a little bit of a deficit, but with a lot of time left on the clock. Command grab.
Man, Kotir is a really, truly terrifying player. He's got those anti-air WFTs on deck. As soon as he activates that Rage Explosion, you cannot jump backwards. He will E-Sen you.
Yeah, and I feel like that is something that really differentiates players, like using all of your resources to their highest potential, because a lot of those WFTs, they have that characteristic. Like when the WFT is active, you can't jump.
That was a beautiful instant air elbow, though, right there. Going over the command grab attempt from Cal.
For sure. Evened up, no resources left. So, honest game, question mark? Let's see what happens here.
This game is the opposite of honest. You and I both know this.
Good flame breath. Kotir out to an early lead. Corners himself. Let's see if Cal can keep him there. Ooh. Now you start to wonder, is Cal getting a little bit too predictable in the air? Is it time to start jumping?
That was really tricky, the cross under into the throw.
For sure. When you air to air at the highest point, it often opens you up for run under possibilities.
Good defense so far from Kotir, and he's managed to successfully disengage, and now he's back to that full screen game. Cal has to find a way in, and he finds it with that jump C.
Threads the needle there. That was very nice. Got a small lead here. Kotir in the red, Cal barely in the orange at this point.
Nice jump back C, catches the wall jump.
Ayy, big call. Very close. Kotir, small deficit, not anymore.
Oh no! He whiffs the 5C. I think he wanted 5B there. 5B, I think, would have worked as a close anti-air, but didn't matter. Pressed the wrong button, and Kotir capitalizing, making it 5-2 in his favor.
No less than 3 rounds I think we've seen so far where Cal has had a decisive lead and Kotir has found some way to will it back, And I can't quite put my finger on what he's doing to make that happen, but it's definitely something to observe. 3 times now, I think Kotir has been in a major deficit. He's just found some way to pull it back.
It's really just like having very good presence of mind. This guy, very strong-willed player, and he's able to, very disciplined. He doesn't throw away games very, very much, and he makes you work for every single round that you get on him.
Definitely a solid understanding of his buttons. And for me, once again, he just can't keep him in the corner. Not saying it's easy, but for me, I feel like that's what he's going to have to do if he's going to put more games on the board.
Yeah, and Cal, he did jump back C to beat the wall jump attempt in that last round, but it wasn't enough. I mean, he's going to need to consistently keep him cornered, which is, tall order, right?
Yeah, because this guy can move. You wouldn't think it, but he can. Beats out that fire breath. I think it was just slightly before it was active there. Again, whips the command grab. Kotir might be feeling a little bit confident at this point. Gets the WFT.
Yo, the ball's on this guy, though. He got hit from grab attempts 2 times, and then he's built for another one. That was like OD.
Why not? Command grab. Now in the life lead is Kotir. First round.
Nice air to air. Chooses to accept that damage to pick up the weapon, and this is... Oh, wow!
Ooh, whip.
That's so unfortunate.
Yeah. Okay.
I think if he had pressed that 6-6C a tiny bit earlier, he would have won that exchange and given him a very good opportunity to bring it back.
Because it was very close. It was very close. It was just probably slightly mistimed. Okay, out of the corner again. Back in the corner. Throws him out of the corner. Okay, mid-screen. Kotir with
nice.
the WFT on deck. Got to acknowledge that because it's been such a factor so far.
That was interesting. He did the run under and then jump back C. Very high level like Yomi going on right now.
Cal, decisive lead. 3-10 situation here. Walks into the 5C. It seems like when Kotir is down that little bit of life left, he just finds a way. He gets really scrappy.
Oh my goodness. Yo, what the hell? He's won like 20 different exchanges right there. Oh, and he's out of the corner and just like that, and he gets hit by that jump back C. Very strong tool for Cal in this matchup.
So going in the final round, Cal is currently enraged. They both have their meter. Let's see what happens here. Moving to the corner. Trade in Cal's favor.
Nice empty jump into the throw. Throws him out of the corner, unfortunately for him.
Yeah. J-A. J-D. Oh, there it is. Nope.
Oh, barely. I think it was just a frame too low.
No!
Oh my goodness.
Little too late. I understand the idea, but a little too late. Big move, lost the meter. He does have a pretty substantial life lead though. But he needs to start blocking. He's starting to get hit by this flame breath again.
Nice neutral jump C though.
Kotir burst.
Oh my god, that bait was beautiful.
Second time. Cal's still in it though, just a smidgen of life left.
Blocks the, oh wow, okay, and gets hit by the 5C. Good. Wow, that was an amazing round for Kotir.
It was. Was that a punish? I'm uncertain.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, uncertain. Regardless, Kotir up 6-2 right now over Cal. We've crossed that 5-point threshold for Kotir. I don't think Cal's the kind of guy to sit back and think about it, but he might want to just have a quick break. But he's going to do what he's going to do. And what he does is go right back in. Darley, Earthquake, we're in it.
How many times now has it been that he's like watched Earthquake, you know, whiffing that WFT right in front of him, and he's just not had a great punish on deck for it?
I was actually going to mention that. Now, what is the punish? You know, I'm lucky. I play an Earthquake relatively often. I have one local in initial drive, so it's definitely something I've labbed. But there's definitely a punish there. But he's having trouble figuring out what it is.
Yeah. Well, we saw him maximize with that deep jump C.
Yeah.
Right, but that was one time. And the Easton was a really good idea. I think it would have taken the round had he. Oh wow, what a great dodge!
Great dodge. Just a little bit too late on that Easton, but here we are. Relatively even life here. Kotir up 4 games, 6 games to Cal's 2. Trying to push Kotir to the corner. Nice jump C. Jump A is just the wall. Oh,
interesting.
Wow.
Oh no! Kyle is not punishing anything the way he should be, man.
Just misjudged the spacing there. JB.
Nice jumps, yeah.
Oh,
good.
That's a punish. And
perfect, done. And that's a big round for Kyle. He needs the momentum swing.
For sure, he needed that. Let's see if it can transfer into the next round. Okay, jump C.
Nice jump. Man, oh wow, what a beautiful deflect. Forces out the rage explosion from Kotir. What the hell?
Might kill the sprint.
I think he just woke up, didn't work out. Kotir making the most of that burst, so it wasn't what he wanted. He made the most of it. Cal, however, turns it around. No resource for Kotir to do anything about it. He's now weaponless.
Oh, chooses to just pick up the weapon. Wasn't afraid of whatever punish.
Mashes it out. Probably good idea. Whoa.
All right. So he really wants this round. He wants this momentum, and he wants to bully him while he's got Kotir in the corner. Oh no, and he's out of the corner just like that.
He's traded. Ooh.
Wonderful. And that was a checkmate situation. There was nothing that Kotir could have done to avoid that East end.
Teleport?
I don't think teleport's fast enough, but maybe.
You might be right. You might be right. But even in that moment, it's hard to think that quick. Regardless, Cal brings it to 6-3 now. He needs that momentum swing, and that was a very As far as the rounds have gone for him, I'd say that's been the most convincing.
I would agree, yeah.
So is there anything in particular you want to see different from Cal? Like, what do you think he's missing here?
I think if he gets a good, if he gets a good read on when Kotir likes to jump forward and press that jump A or jump D, he can just jump back C and beat them clean every single time, and rack up a lot of damage that way. But of course, you got to be psychic to know when he's going to jump forward like that. But everybody's got tells, everybody's got patterns. So I don't know. That's what I want to see at least. How about you?
I mentioned it millions of times, but just keeping him cornered, he hasn't been able to do that, and I feel like that's really where Darley can walk all over Earthquake, but we just haven't seen it. Though you make a really good point, but that would sort of require Cow to be a bit more passive in his game plan, which I'm all about, but I don't know if Cow's about it.
Right? Yeah.
And out
nice
again.
Close B there, and a jump B or a jump C, and then a running C. Very good sequence for Cow.
Cow getting a lot of big hits over.
Yo, dude, that sequence was ridiculous. Oh my goodness.
Cross up jump C, now that I see it. I wonder if that's an EQ thing. Typically when you see the cross up, it's a jump B.
Oh, I think that's gonna connect, yes.
Yep, very good. He's been doing that all game, and it's super impressive every time. And I think it's part of why we see this game deficit here.
Oh my goodness, he really went for it. This mug.
Oh man. What are you gonna do, Cow? Oh wait, he canceled the wind up into the running kick. Did you see that?
I didn't know you could do that. Yeah.
Me either. Interesting. Regardless, he isn't able to take that round. Both have meter here in the final round. We'll see how it plays out. J8. Man grab. Early lead from Kotir.
Nice overhead, sneaking it in. Good close B though, anti-ing the cross-up jump.
And that was shades of the first 3 games right there, eating that 5C. We haven't seen that in a while, but it's coming back. Pops.
Okay. Nice, the bait. Oh my goodness.
Oop, what is going on here?
Oh my god, yo.
What is that? This is wild.
You see him baiting those things so well. Oh no, and that's gonna take it. Good punish from Kotir, taking it 7-3 now.
What a round. That's what we tuned in for. Like, that was some high-level stuff right there.
Man, that's unfortunate. He got what he wanted, like 2, maybe even 3 times in a row, but he didn't capitalize very well off of it.
I think sometimes you can just be sort of deer in the headlights. I've definitely been there. I mean, I don't think Cow is this way, but I found myself being like, all right, I'm gonna run up and they're gonna do this, and they do that, and you're like so surprised that they did,
Yeah, right. Like, you're like, damn, I'm godlike. And then as soon as that thought enters your brain, you forget what you were about to do.
For sure. Okay, so 7-3 here for Kotir. Cow, staying alive, but he really needs to start turning it on. He's been getting 1 game here, 1 game there. He needs something of a run. And it's really getting to the now portion of our contest. You got to do it now.
Man, that's crazy. And Cal's the one that was talking all that shit on Twitter, too, to the AR guys, talking about how they were scared to play him. This is not looking good for him right now, man.
Yeah, this is for the key to the Trash Talk Castle right now, and he's not taking it. Okay, cornered. Nice
jump back C. Beautiful. And that's 2 things. We both mentioned jump back C and keeping him in the corner, doing 2 things at once.
Working together here. So far, great job keeping him there. Oh, yeah. No. Ooh.
Wow, I can't believe I caught him. I thought for sure jump C would have beaten him.
Wow. Okay.
Interesting. Okay, this could be a big win for Cow if he manages to oh my goodness.
He wants this round.
Nice.
This does a lot of damage in rage. There it is.
Oh my goodness, and he pressed the jump C a little too high up in the air. Kotir recognizes it and punishes it with a command grab.
Now, Kotir had to spend that resource. If Cal can find a way to take this round without spending a resource, it puts him in a really good place going into the final round. Right now, Kotir up to an early lead.
He's got that rage activated now. It's could be. Oh wow! Wow, beautiful.
I think that might kill. I think that might kill. I mean, this does some big boy damage if I'm not mistaken.
Oh my god!
That's wild.
That is unbelievable. 8-3, just like that. Cal melts off of one bad read.
Can you believe some people don't want to play this game because of the damage? Like, that's one of the complaints I've heard. What are you talking about, man? The damage is exciting as hell. It's one of my favorite parts of the game. That was wild.
If that ever happens to you, you deserve it, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Eason, we can put Eason aside for a second. Often I feel like this is a game where if you're losing, it's on you. Despite the strengths of Eason. Regardless, Kotir 8, Cal 3, still in it, but he really needs to push back. He needs to put his foot down and push back on Kotir. Let's see what he can do. Kotir playing
nice
much closer. Yeah, typically he's been spacing it out at the start of the round. He's getting right up in Cal's face from the beginning. Maybe a slight life lead for Kotir.
Every time he jumps over with that earthquake, Cal's ready with the close speed. Not very much damage, but it's good to get that damage whenever you can, especially against the player of Kotir's caliber.
For sure. Kotir is just swinging right now, and all the hits are connecting. Corpse hop, getting out of the corner.
Nice throw, and this is looking like, yep.
Yeah, pretty commanding lead there.
Man, I don't know.
I believe. I want to see Cal make this competitive. No bias here, but...
Oh, okay, big punish opportunity. Gets a throw into the corner.
Here's a start. Can we keep him there? Backs off.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. And
Dude,
I feel
he's
like,
so good at that. I just cannot believe it.
I feel like that's the story of the... No, you madman. Cal gets
He's feeling himself, dude. He's being disrespectful as hell.
I feel like he's been feeling himself for the past 2 games.
You're right.
That did not cross up, for the record. Being quiet here, but just pretty tense moments. Jump C.
He's got that corner position now, and he's... Oh, nice! That jump forwards, or that would have been a jump back C, but he like auto-corrected.
Correct. Yeah, you can do that. The timing is difficult, but you can definitely do that.
Yeah, very good chase down from Cal. Keeping himself alive, desperately needed ground.
And Kotir, with the WFT, you really have to be aware that at this point in the game, he is not afraid to use it. Okay, 6D.
Good trade for Cal.
And Kotir, small life deficit here. Ooh, nice. There was that blind spot on the JC. If you're right up in his face, that JC will whip. Five C.
Yep, running right into it.
Oop.
Good backdash.
Ooh, interesting. 2C.
Sneaking in that low. He doesn't use that very often, but when he does, he makes it count. Wow, yo, you saw that? He dodged that overhead and punished with the throw.
Yeah, Cal pops. Oh, wow. Oh, he didn't get the WFT. Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
And cost him the game.
Sheesh.
Okay, that's 8-4. Now, once again, we mentioned this earlier. Cal takes it, but there was nothing decisive about that. I feel like he takes that round, and there's momentum that comes with that game, but he needs to find a way to transfer into the next game.
I mean, he only won that because Kotir messed up at the end there. Let's call it like it is.
For sure.
And I think, man, I don't know. Cal hasn't really done anything to really swing the scale in his favor yet.
Looking for that adjustment, and I feel like that adjustment is being a little bit more passive and responding to Kotir. Haven't quite seen that yet with the jump back C specifically, as you mentioned. We'll see what he comes up with. But yeah, the WFT drop there is what cost him that game. Okay, 8-4. Kotir's favor. Can Cal turn around? It needs to happen now.
Nice far bead. You don't normally see that button very often, but it worked out for him.
Interesting button, really. It can be super punishable depending on the character.
Minus on
Nice.
hit even, as we saw earlier on in this set.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Nice jump C though.
Pretty convincingly, looking like about 60%. No.
Oh my god,
Ooh,
thank goodness.
gosh.
There you go.
Great. Now
I think Andy was like in his ear, like, yo, you gotta jump C, stand C whenever he does that. Trying to protect that investment of his.
Now we've seen this many times. Not this time. I was about to say Kotir has got a way of making huge comebacks with a sliver of life, but Cal closes that round out. Okay.
Good trade for Cow, I believe.
Yes. Runs into the command grab. Kotir still a little bit of a life deficit, but I think he evens it up there.
Nice jump D.
Well, Kotir really has an interesting sort of I shouldn't say momentum, sort of timing to him, going out
Dude,
and going in.
he just ran forward into 3 jump Cs in a row.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about. Cal's just running and wasn't working. 5C, recoil potential, nothing comes. JC, keep him there.
Nice,
66B.
nice.
Is that 66B or 66D? No, 66C. Ow.
That's D. That's D. The butt is D.
Oh, gotcha. Hit him with the butt. Okay.
Oh no, sorry, no, that's not D. D is the
The
sweep.
sweep.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I believe it is D then.
Yeah. Okay. Relatively close on life here. Runs up command throw. He's sensing something. It's the second time we've seen him block JC with followed by run up command throw.
Big trade again for Cow. He's got that rage on deck now.
And you know, we haven't seen a lot of it. Now that you mention it, we've seen what, 2?
Yeah, and I think they've both been like combos into it.
Yes.
Oh, big whiff. Forced the rage explode there. I think that was a smart decision from Kotir.
Yeah, goddamn. Kotir pops. Slight life deficit for like, ooh. I respect it. That was sort of an ambiguous situation, and it could have really cost him if he, stretched himself too thin.
Oh my goodness, that was crazy. Cow bets it all on that one moment, and
it didn't pay
Kotir,
off.
yeah, man, Kotir was ready for it, and he punishes in a big way, going up 9-4 now on set point.
Yep. So Kotir, he has been looking strong, still looking strong. Cal still trying to figure out the counter here. 9-4. This is, money match point, if you will. Kotir just needs one more. Okay, Darley's locked in. And here we go. Potentially the last game. Shout out to the juggling monkey. I'm cool with that guy. He is my friend.
Yeah, I mean, you spend a lot of time with him.
Touche.
Nice jump D. Oh, tries to punish on hit, but not fast enough.
Kotir giving him one with that dodge. That could have been a deflect. Cross
Nice.
up.
Cow again at a very big life lead, but like you said, he's got that rage on deck, and he's been known to make those big comebacks. So
Yeah. It seems like Kotir is scariest when he's in the deficit. Like right here, we've seen him come back so many times. Not this time though.
I think that's more a player thing than anything else, though, because Cow, he hates sitting on leads. He just wants to kill you,
For sure. That Easton, it made me think of that last round.
Yeah, exactly.
And JC, ooh, good jump in.
Oh, he could have gotten an anti-air there, but a little awkward, that situation.
Cal went for the deflect. I feel like that's one of the first ones we've seen from him. Slight life lead right now. Elbow drop. But
Nice.
oop.
Runs into the 5C again. Good air to air, though. Chasing him down. Very nice. Cow again at a life lead.
Ay, good call. And okay, let's just see what happens here. Kotir at that life point where he's very threatening. Cross up JC. Cal takes it.
That was a really crazy scramble at the end there. It was hard to see kind of what was going on with like all the different jumps going on.
For sure. I just had a thought. What we haven't seen from Cal is some faster jump buttons to challenge that jump A. But who am I to say? Right now, 9-5, Kotir's favor, signs of life from Cal. Okay, as we said, 9-5, Kotir's favor. Cal coming off of a win. Let's see what he can do. I mean, there is no wiggle room. You got to win them all if you're going to win.
Yep. 5 straight from here. That's a tall order, man.
Just look at this guy. This guy is a menace, this Kotir fella. JB cross up, throw, 5C. Kotir in the corner.
Yeah, corner positioning again, but so far that, oh my goodness, he just throws him out of it.
Interesting decision. It looks like he just straight up does not care. Kotir care about maintaining the corner. Kotir's got rage though. Wow.
Dude, he just keeps doing it over and over. That's crazy.
I guess to counter those neutral jumps.
Yeah, that's a good answer for sure, but it's so risky. It's a lot of people are really hesitant to use it. Nice. Good punish on the elbow drop.
It's interesting. Kotir is now making a lot of big reads, and Cal is just punishing him for it. And you can sort of forgive Kotir for doing that. He does have a pretty decisive lead as far as the set goes, but if you keep doing that for too long, it's going to cost you.
Yeah, you don't want to play with your food, and especially when there's money on the line, like.
For sure. Kill him when you have the chance. Again, it's out. 5C.
Nice, 5C. He's been really successful with those overheads, though, Kotir.
Yeah, and I feel like he's really been pulling them out as the game goes on. Like, he hasn't been totally leaning on it, but now you're starting to see him.
Yeah, because, I mean, the story of the set so far is he's been conditioning very, very frequently using the 6-6D, the low option. Oh, is this going to connect? Yes, it is.
Still a lot of life for Kotir to have, but without a weapon, Cal can do it. Wow.
Okay, that was a little crazy, but it caught the jump. 15 seconds remaining. Oh, and he runs into the fire breath, and now it's set point for Kotir.
A good choice from Kotir, knowing he's near the weapon. Cal wants to keep it away from him, goes to the fire breath, stuffs the approach.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, is this going to connect?
Kidding me.
Sure is.
Cal starting to, and this is a really bad spot. Weapon is gone. He needs to find a way to close this out. Kotir still has that burst. Wow.
Nice. Very tricky stuff.
Cancels now. Sort of watching in awe at this moment. It's a very tough spot for Cal, and I think that's going to close it out. No, you're right. Just a little bit left.
Okay, this is a chance. Still a chance.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That weapon. Oh, elbow drop closes it. 10-5 Kotir. So first match, as I said, going to Arcade Rumble, Kotir over Team Winston's Cal, 10-5.
Yo, but did you see that earthquake win pose? He was like counting his money. That's exactly what Kotir is doing right now.
For sure, 500 pesos. We're going to talk about that later. But our first money match is going to Kotir. As we talked about earlier, both very successful, accomplished, and strong players. But today, Kotir definitely came out on top, 10-5. Ultimately, pretty convincing. And we talk about the story of the matchup. For me, there was the JA and the use of WFT. What did you see?
No, yeah, I think the WFT was just like, it's so good. The fact that he was able to use it so consistently to anti-air, to Darley, like the Darley's most potent option. It was a real game changer, I think, and it got him a lot of rounds that I think would have been very hard fights otherwise.
For sure. And when you look at that WFT economy, I mean, Kotir was fat and happy in what we saw too from Cal. See the big difference there. And I often feel like those big money moves, whoever's getting more of those off is the one who's coming out on top. And I think that was definitely the case in that game.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Resource management, of course, a very big thing. I think a lot of people don't really think about it very much, just because of the nature of the resources in this game. But you know, it's better to be efficient than not, you know. And
For sure.
Man, this guy Kotir was very efficient. Let me tell you.
He was, and you know, to use that WFT in that manner against you know, Darley Jump C, one of the more terrifying buttons, particularly online. I talked about earlier. It's like staring down a train coming at you and giving it the finger. It's a gutsy move, but he was so confident. You can tell that he was prepared. It's not the first time he's done that before.
No, absolutely not. That was a really good set, though. I'm very excited. Or I'm very happy to have watched it.
Absolutely. I hope everyone at home enjoyed it. Good games to both players. If you're in the chat, give Kotir and Cal a GG's. They did a really good job, and we love them both. And thank you guys for coming out and playing for us tonight. We appreciate it.
That's also a matchup that I don't normally see very, very frequently. So it was really a treat to watch two players of such, you know, a high level being able to play it out like that. So
for sure. And you know, it dawned on me later in the set, but if I'm not mistaken, Markio plays Darley too. So Kotir has definitely fought his fair share of Darley now that I think about it. He looked a little bit too comfy with those WFTs for just a little bit of practice. I think that's something he's been doing for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure if we're jumping directly into our next game. We're going to figure that out in a minute. Okay, so we're going to take a 5-minute break. Everyone, you know, grab a drink, grab some food, use the restroom, come back, and then we're going to watch Robert versus Andy OCR. There's definitely some things to say about this one. This should be great.
All right, I'll be right back, guys.
Same.
All right. Yeah, thank you, Simon. Thank you, guys. We're doing great. ¿Qué tal, chicos? ¿Cómo están? Digo, si todavía me quedan por ahí viewers en español, no se me desesperen. Aquí tenemos que entender que lo que habla son las espadas. Entonces, vámonos a nuestro siguiente match, que ahora sí tenemos a Robert contra Andy OCR. Este money match surge del de Kotir contra Kao, en el momento en el que Kao como decimos nosotros, le canta el money match a Kotir. Andy le dice, ¿sabes qué? Órale va y yo te pago a ti tu money match. En ese momento Robert dice, ¿sabes qué? Y tú por andarle pagando, pues ¿qué onda? Vamos a jugar tú y yo. Entonces ese es nuestro siguiente match, Andy OCR contra AR Robert. Vamos a ver qué nos traen estos dos chicos. Ya vimos que Kotir se llevó al anterior, súper buen papel por parte de Kotir, y también muy buen jugador Kao, que no se le quita mérito. Felicidades a los dos. Y vámonos con nuestro siguiente match. And Oru, Sugar, thank you for being here, and I'll leave you guys to it.
Oh, thank you, sir. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight on the Arcade Rumble stream. We just saw Kotir and Kao. Really excellent game. Kotir ended up taking it 10-5. Now we're about to get into Andy OCR from Team Winston versus Arcade Rumble Robert. A lot to say about this one, but first I want to reintroduce my co-commentator, Aru. Aru, how you doing, bud?
And I'm doing great. You know, I'm really happy to be here. It's been really fun watching these matches and calling them with you. I was very pleasantly surprised. We were talking a little bit about this during the break, but you know, we work pretty well together, and I think we've gotten a lot of pretty good feedback from people. So, you know, it's great.
Yeah, it's awesome. I was super excited to work with you because, you know, I don't know how much you're going to like hearing this, but you are the guy right now as far as commentary for Sam Show, whether you like it or not.
Shut the hell up.
It was a pleasure to work with you. I'm super excited about it. But anyways, before we get into this next match, I don't know if I mentioned it already, but I'm just so happy to see everybody here. So many familiar faces. We're getting together and talking about some Sam Show and watching some really great matches. So let's get into it. This match.
If I may have a word real quick.
Yes, of course.
I was going to say, this is an R-rated game, so the same goes for the stream. So feel free to just express yourselves, all right?
All right. That is all I needed to hear.
Yeah, because I was hearing like Aru was like holding back a little. So yeah, you just do your thing, all right?
All right, much appreciated.
He's unleashed. Perfect. All right, let's do it. Okay, so this match, as we said, Robert versus Andy. I guess the lore really focused around Cal and his relationship with Arcade Rumble at this point, and Kotir stepping forward, and Andy was sort of an innocent bystander getting pulled into this. And I'm really grateful for it, though, because we have a really interesting match. Now, there's going to be some debates about what I'm about to say, but I feel right now we have the best player in the States versus the best player in Mexico going up against each other in a first to 10. So you hear those words, and it's a real treat. Now, as I said, there is room for debate. Andy has had some close calls recently against the likes of Marco Polo and Dustin, but as far as I'm concerned, he is still the guy in the States. Across from him, we have Robert, who, if you've been paying attention to the Arcade Rumble League, was incredibly dominant. I think by the end of the 4th or 5th week, it was just numerically impossible for anyone to top him just because he'd been kicking so much ass up until that point. Now, the last week, he did go down to Violent Kane Aroha, but still, as far as I'm concerned, right now in Mexico, he is the guy. So we have the best from both nations, USA and Mexico, about to go at each other in a 1st to 10. So this is super exciting. Aru, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I am not going to argue with you when you say that both these players are the best of their region. Andy has been a dominant player since the game has released, and you can say the same for Robert as well in Mexico. So yeah, it's going to be very exciting. Both these players play some really strong characters, and it's going to be nice to see them represented at the highest of levels. So I'm, super looking forward to it.
For sure. And, that's the player matchup. The character matchup, I think, is a little interesting, too. Andy, I'm expecting Jubei, and his experience against Shizu, who you think of when you think Robert, that makes me think back to the ballad of Andy and Didi Mokoff, when Andy was chasing Didi Mokoff all over the States, trying to get that win and just couldn't do it. And since then, if I'm not mistaken, he was never able to pull that out. But since then, the States doesn't really have a strong Shizu representative. So it's sort of a blast from the past. What does Andy have to bring to the table now, all these months later, in this matchup?
So I don't know if he still thinks this, but I remember talking a little bit in Discord. We were discussing kind of who does well against Shizumaru, and I believe Andy was mentioning Ukyo. And I know he does play a very strong, solid Ukyo, so maybe that's a possibility during the set. I don't know.
It's interesting you mentioned that, because I remember him saying in longer sets, it can be a good way to sort of judge the player or reset the tone of the match. So I wouldn't be surprised that coming into play either. We're going to have to see. But on the flip side of this, Robert definitely has faced his fair share of Jubei 2 in the form of Maki down in Mexico, who is also a Jubei player. I think his Jubei and Andy's Jubei are quite different in the fact that Maki is a very patient player. And not to say that Andy isn't patient, but if you've ever had the pleasure of fighting Andy in a tournament environment, that guy can set a tempo that is nothing less than frantic. So they both have a lot of experience in their theoretical, character matchups here. So we'll have to see how it plays out. But you do make a good point, Aru. It's interesting to see where Andy's going to go from here as far as character choice.
Yeah, I mean, Jubei, of course, a very strong character. I think a lot of players, I was actually talking to some Korean players as well, and they think Jubei is very, very strong right now. But I don't know, I think the sentiment here is that Shizumaru still kind of takes a dump all over him. So
Shizumaru's got everything you could want and just a little bit more.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Kind of OD. Yo, I see Andy OCR has that Puerto Rico flag.
Team Winston, Andy OCR from Puerto Rico.
Oh, never mind. It got changed. That's unfortunate. I like seeing that.
That's why you speak up. Anyways, going into it, what I'm most curious about is the tempo. Are we gonna just start, guns blazing, or is it gonna be a little slow?
I haven't really seen Andy play at a slower pace. He always kind of plays, really aggressive, kind of rush down Jubei type of thing. So I don't expect that to change in this matchup.
What surprises me about Robert is, I first knew Robert by his Charlotte, and his Shizu is considerably more patient than his Charlotte, if you ask me. He will typically...
Yeah, that's actually true.
He'll develop a lead, and then he will float, and he will back off, and go in when he feels like the time is right. So tempo is what I'm looking at out of the gates. And so far, it's been mild, a little bit of back and forth, which is what you'd expect. They're feeling each other out.
Nice. That textbook Andy, that run up, mix up. He does very... Oh, nice.
Wow.
Good punish there. Chooses to cash out in a regular combo rather than SSM. I think that was a good decision. Nice.
Yeah, you know, you question those decisions up until the point they close out the match, and he did, so it's for sure the right decision. Not sure what happened there.
I think he was reading a fireball.
Perhaps. And I guess if you're going to make big calls, now's the time, but there's another big call, that tap. We all know too well. So much damage. Andy already in the orange.
Kizu, though, he does have a very floaty jump arc, which makes him somewhat susceptible to Jube's WFT as an anti-air.
It is the float that makes him a threat in the air. His, as you mentioned, his jump arc and how floaty he is. If it was just that alone, you wouldn't care about him being in the air too much. Regardless, Robert closed out the second game. JC, 1 round apiece.
So Andy, he's been playing kind of outside of sword normal range. Kind of content to chuck fireballs whenever he finds a chance. And oh, nice, good anti-air. But really, I think he's afraid of letting Shizu get in close and start mixing him up with all those really safe pokes that he's got. And also, wow, Robert showing that he does have those instant float overheads on deck.
Yeah, that can be very threatening. Okay, nice call. Twice in the deflect situation, Andy pushes. Tense moment. Robert in the red.
Yeah, any big movement, and he could get Ethan for, I think, a round even.
Robert, ooh, interesting. Making sort of a very big call that Andy was going to challenge there, and he didn't. Cost him the game. I think early on, I wouldn't be surprised if we see more big calls like that just to feel things out, but in the long run, that's not going to do it.
Yeah, you know, whenever you make big bets like that, the chips are kind of stacked against you. And, you know, while it's 0-0, you know, you can make bets like that. One game isn't that big of a deal right now. But, you know, as the score, if it does diverge quite a bit and somebody comes to like a big lead, I suspect that player will start playing a bit more compact and less risky.
And that can play into the opponent's hand in itself if you're playing someone top level, which these two guys most certainly are. So Andy up 1. Hanging out with the juggling monkey. Okay, here we go.
Good defense there. Walk under and blocks the cross up.
Yeah, Robert not overextending, but taking a slightly more aggressive posture at the very beginning of this game.
Oh, he tried to jump back B there, but Robert pressed an air normal pretty early on and beats Andy's jump back B attempt. He's spacing him out really well right now with all those air normals, that jump B in particular, very well used.
Yeah, he really knows how to place it. He knows how to play the strengths of the character. Okay. Overhead blocks.
And Andy now, he's going to have to take some pretty major risks to get in. Oh, wow, just barely misses that float.
And it's tough to push and to need that damage and to end up eating so much. We're still early here, but those things will start to drain on you.
And at this point, I feel like the round is just completely gone in the way of Robert, and I would try to just die, you know, so I can conserve that rage meter. Oh, but he's choosing to press. 16 seconds remaining, and that's plenty of time should he get, like, you know, 1 or 2 more. No, but he just gets poked.
And as you said, he's going to go into the next round with pretty much the tail end of his rage left. Nothing that will be a factor. First game, Robert. See where we go from here.
That jump B, that float jump B, very hard to get around, you know. He can mix up when he throws it out and where it lands. It's very hard. A nice trade for Andy, I think.
Okay, that could have been scary stuff. I think that was the second hit of that poke, which isn't cancelable. Robert with rage, but not pushing.
Wow, that was... I'm surprised he ended up on that side.
Andy now cornered.
Nice counter poke on that 2C attempt with his own 2B. Block
Very
and
good.
punish, very nice.
Ooh.
Bro.
We're swinging.
Yo, that float is fucking disgusting. I hate it.
You gotta You definitely don't want to have to go in on this kid because it's just deflating. But
that was nice. I think Robert went for an instant overhead there. He did a backdash, and that Andy just swung with the 5B, and it caught the backdash.
Yeah, he just challenged. Wasn't afraid to do it.
Oop. Nice. That was such a good bait from. Oh my god! And what a sequence! Forces the rage explosion. Double rage explode.
What is happening? Okay. Now, if you're Andy, if I was Andy, Easton really isn't on the table, but you want to get as much damage right now as you can. And both bursts are gone.
Andy has been dodging very frequently against Robert. I noticed that these the AR guys, they like to use the throw as a defensive option, you know, as like kind of a fast reversal. And I think Andy noticed that as well, and he's been trying to use the throw or the dodge to blow it up. Does that work?
What? Say that again?
He hit the 6-6C and traded, and I think he tried to juggle with another 6-6C.
Ooh, no, I did not see that. I have not heard of that either. That would be pretty wild if it did.
Oh, and he misses the grab. Robert takes the opportunity and ties it up at 1-1.
Okay. So here we go. Very even right now. I think, you know, first game went Andy, of course. Robert takes this one, and I wouldn't say dominant, but it felt like a very strong game for Robert. Robert was making a lot of big calls in that first game, and you could say that it cost it, you know, the first game, but this time playing a lot tighter, and he ends up pulling it out.
Yeah, it seems really hard for Andy's Jubei to get in when Robert is playing kind of like that compact zoning style with the float jump Bs and the fireballs. I don't know. I think he just needs to figure out an answer and maybe take some risks to get in and get stuff started.
Yeah, I feel like Shizu is one of those characters where you need the life lead. You actually do want him coming towards you, believe it or not, because when you have to come to him, those floats and the jump B, it can be a miserable, draining process. Okay, here we go.
Man, I hate that situation where Shizumara is right above you and you like walk under him and you're like, oh man, maybe I can press a button and get some damage on him on his way down. Nope. Nice air to air though, chasing him down.
Okay. Robert pressing. Seems to be pressing more than previous game, I should say. Andy going under the. Ooh, bam.
Good movement from Andy.
Interesting trade. Definitely in Andy's favor. Robert going for the flex. Robert,
yeah, like you mentioned.
Range.
Oh, nice backdash over the 2C. But yeah, like you mentioned, he does have that life lead on that Shizumara, like the position that you always want to be in. And he's making full advantage of it.
I think it's almost a must, because when you got to come to him, it's not fun. But Robert's not dead yet. Oh. 660 closes it out. First round going to Andy pretty convincingly. See what round 2 has in store for us. Ooh. With punish on the 5A.
Might kill the screen.
Robert is pressing. Andy countering the 660.
Oh, big whiff and good punish there. The close C.
Oh, unclose into the grab.
I think that's the first time that he's gotten grabbed in this entire set.
I think you're right. But you know, now that it's on the table, it's just one more thing to think about. And here we go. Andy's probably not where he wanted to be. That deficit. Ooh, but JC bringing it close.
Oh my goodness. Good discipline from Andy to not rage explode there. He's got a round to give, and that does put that threat of the WFT away for now, at least.
Andy's coming in with a little bit of rage. You'd feel like now's the time to press, but sometimes it's just not worth it. Find your footing.
Nice jump back B again. That's the Andy OCR. That's what I know him for, because the first time I played him in tournament, he just murdered me with that one button.
Now, I can't remember off the top of my head, but there's been a few whiff throws from Andy. I'd say at least 2.
Yeah, I think at least 2 is right. Oh, wow, nice jump back C from Robert, catching Andy's aggression.
Andy's in a tough spot. He really needs to, I feel like, be calculated in the approach here. Shizu's a character, if you push too hard, oh my gosh, with jump B in the throw, Andy pops. Pushing very hard. Oh
nice
my
2C.
goodness.
Oh, making a big call out there with that jump forward C. Bro.
Sometimes I just feel like it's not worth it in this matchup. Like, I don't really feel like Eason is on the table against Shizu. What do you think about that?
I mean, yeah, I've gotten like blown up by the float so many times. Sometimes you do have to go for it. I think, but like you got to know that the odds are very, very highly stacked against you. No matter how good your reactions are, it comes down to a guess every single time.
For sure. So here we are, Robert going 2 in a row, bringing our score to 2-1 in Robert's favor. Match 3, Jubei locked in again, up against Robert Shizu. A lot of whiff throws, which I don't blame him. There are a lot of ambiguous situations there. And really, that throw is forward throws, I think, for every character is 3 frames. So tempting, that forward throw. It's so fast. I don't blame him, but we'll have to see if he continues to go for that.
Yeah. I mean, really, whenever you get a throw to connect, it's usually the result of conditioning, at least at this level of play. Rather than, them failing to react to it.
Interesting. Robert, no fear after the 660, walks up and throws. Close 5B.
Yeah, good B. So, oh my goodness, that float just barely out of range of that jump C. That would have been such a good response from Andy.
Andy going under the float, sort of reset the screen space. Jump C, very nice.
Yeah, Andy has very good air-to-air reactions, but whenever a character can change their jump arc like the way that Shizumaru can, it makes your air-to-airs a lot less reliable. Nice 5B though.
Yep, anti-air 5B takes it for Andy. We sort of have a mirror of last game. Andy convincingly taking the first round. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, Andy trying to find a way to get something of a life lead here. Establish himself. Ooh, run up throw from downtown.
Damn, Andy was caught sleeping? Or maybe he just thought, he expected, I don't know, like run up, do nothing.
Thinking hard about how he was gonna get in, you know what I mean? And sometimes you only have so much brain energy to give. But right now, Andy down, but not too much.
Nice 660, catches him out of the air. Very beautiful.
Yeah, he's gone for that option a few times, but that was the most successful attempt so far. Sometimes he's gotten stuff, sometimes it's traded. That was clean.
Oh my god, get fucked, Andy. You're done.
Such a cool looking move. Okay.
That was so smart because he noticed Andy likes to run forward and press C a lot. And he does. To his credit, he mixes up very well between the different running buttons. But Robert sniffed that shit out and he threw out the deflect at the very perfect time.
Agreed. And I think one of Jubei's strengths and what makes him different from a lot of his previous iterations is his running normals. And Jubei is super mobile in this game, which is something he couldn't say for past games. But right now, Andy getting an early lead, which is what he needs. Robert has rage.
Yeah, so Robert actually went for the same thing that he won the last round with. He saw Andy running at him and he went for the deflect, but Andy was actually baiting it out. So you see a lot of, mind games on mind games right now.
Nice punish on the projectile with the spin. Shizu, he can do it all for sure. Jabe, jump back B from Andy. Oof. Okay, went for the deflect. Robert punishes with 660. 660 again. Andy's cornered. Universal overhead. Whiff jump B in the throw. Ooh, Robert dodges the pop.
Oh my goodness.
Hey,
dude, he's making Andy look like a fool right now.
I don't know.
What in the world?
Okay, trade on the 5B. I think that was 5B and JB trades. Robert takes it. Close round, but there were a couple things that happened there that makes me think, I wouldn't say that he's in his head, but I don't know. So that didn't go very well towards the end there.
No, absolutely not. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's hard to say what even was happening near the end there because a lot of strange things were happening. Yeah.
Well, Robert dodged the burst attempt, which if I'm not mistaken makes you plus. I could be wrong about that. Yeah, and that was a pretty wild call, but it was the right call. So Robert's not messing around right now. That's for sure. You can definitely. Of course, he wants this. So does Andy, but we're really getting it reiterated through the play right now. No one is fooling around here.
Mm-hmm. And man, so far, AR, the Arcade Rumble team, has been going to an early lead against Team Winston boys.
Yeah. We gotta do good by Winston here. Let's see what Andy can do. He's sticking with Jubei. I think the right call. Still early. Andy's slight life deficits. Ooh,
nice.
2C. Robert staying mobile. Sort of
Slowly. Oh, never mind. Runs into the 660. I hate that button, man. I hate anybody with a safe 660, man. That shit's privilege.
And you just getting knocked down and having to chase this guy can just be so draining. But Andy, big conversion, a lot of damage there.
Nice jump back B. Oh. Oh my god. Are you fucking serious?
Oh, I love it. Oh my god. Now, once again, you got to say real quick, that's a mirror of the last 3 first rounds we've had. Andy's taken the past 3 games, every first round convincingly, but he hasn't been able to close them out. It's happening again here, where we have a different story for the progressive rounds, the following rounds. See what Andy can do.
Nice trade in Andy's favor, I believe.
Andy throwing out some big buttons here.
Oh, it gets thrown. Yeah, that's Robert's very good at using the the whipped jump normals to kind of trick you into not doing anything and then sneaking in the throws on you.
For sure, JB is great for that. You just whip it right above their head, and it's hard to react, especially online.
Absolutely. But, oh, nice. Good defense from Andy. Good patience. Robert making a big read. Again, doesn't work out for him. That's the second game now that he's given to Andy where he just kind of makes a big Isen read at the end.
Correct. 2 games. The 2 games that Andy has taken, he's taken when Robert sort of threw down all of his chips and just said, screw it, we're going in.
But I was going to say, Andy has been... I noticed one instance in that game where Robert went for a deflect, and Andy pressed 5B as a punish, a whiff punish, and it did connect as a counter hit. So I think the connection must be good enough that he's able to do stuff like that.
For sure. Yeah, at this point, I did mention it earlier, but it looks smooth to me. Both players are going to play as if it's not, and everything's on the line. So here we go. Game 6 now. We got 3-2 Robert. Andy coming off a win. A lot of sort of deja vu throughout these games. We're seeing a lot of the same situations over and over. We'll see how this progresses. So far, very, very close. Nice to run under.
And also good discipline to not press a button there. I think any button he would have pressed would have either lost outright or maybe traded in Shizumaru's favor.
Yeah, Charlotte is another one of those characters where you just have to, reconsider running under with a button. Sometimes it's just best just to get under. Okay, nice.
There you go. Okay, Andy sneaks in a throw of his own there.
Okay,
nice.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Ooh, so Robert, I think that was sort of like, are you going to dodge? So the next time he comes in, the question's going to be throw or not throw. I think Robert's going to lean towards throw. There it is.
Whenever you see people like running in the other guy's face and then just sitting there for like a split second, that's like, to me, that looks like in Tekken, like when you see people wave dashing in each other's faces for like a long time. That's what it seems like to me.
I think he was collecting data. Again, and now he's leaning throw. Andy up the first game again now. A lot of interesting choices being made here.
Nice air to air from Andy. He's looking kind of clean right now.
Again with the throw. And not paying off. Anti-air 5B.
Nice neutral jump C. Very good air to air.
And Andy pressing.
Oh my god, this motherfucker. That was so smart.
Oh my, and Andy pops. Ooh, and it pays off. Holy shit.
I'm surprised. That was a crazy scramble at the end there, but I guess Andy had a good read on it, and he knew that Robert was going to try to do something there because he was at frame advantage after Andy had activated his rage explosion. But the way the 5B hits, it like connects right at the perfect time if like the other person like jumps or does anything. So really good awareness, I think, from Andy.
3-3. It's been pretty wild so far. We're going to see where we progress from here, but Andy's closed the gap. And I mentioned before the last game, Robert's given Andy his 2 games. You sure as hell can't say that about this last game. Andy took that by himself. So maybe a little bit of change of the tides here. We'll see.
And that was, especially that last round, that was a very fast-paced round. That's more kind of what I'm used to seeing from Andy. And it seems like Robert wasn't quite able to like space him out and zone him and play that kind of slippery game that he was so successful with in the previous set of games.
Okay, Robert pushing quickly to get that lead. Ooh, 6-6C. JC. A lot of chonky hits from Andy right out the gates.
Nice.
Oh my goodness.
Psychic read there.
Okay. Whips on the JB. Robert pushing. Works out. WFT. Andy is in a pretty good spot.
Oh no, this is not good anymore.
No, it looked like he was going to abandon the weapon for a second there. Now he might not have a choice. I think if you're going to... I was going to say, if you're going to do this, you got to be patient, and he's pressing pretty hard right now. It's not working out.
Kind of a checkmate situation right there. It's very hard to
Chip,
instant block that.
Would Chip have done that? I think so.
I believe so.
Yeah. Okay, round one, Robert. JC.
Oh, big whiff. Nice punish from Robert.
Good awareness. Ooh.
Oh, nice block.
Really had to make that count, and he does. A nice chunk of damage right there. And
oh my god, get fucked again.
Wow, no, that I hate to say it, but that's it.
Yep, that's it.
Oh my goodness. What a dominant game by Robert. He said, I don't really give a shit about that last game. He just came in and said, this is mine, put his foot down. What are you going to do about it? Not a damn thing. 4-3 Robert.
Yeah, very clean. It was definitely apparent that he has like a good read on what Andy likes to do and when he likes to do those things. So really, Andy, I think the onus is on him to kind of switch it up and surprise Robert. He's very capable of doing that, of course. Very high-level player. So we'll see what he's got.
Okay. These loading screens, man.
Yeah, dude, that's like the hardest part about commentary is the fucking load screens and finding stuff to talk about.
I'm okay with silence. Like, I feel like this game, silence actually works quite well. Because, I mean, you start to talk about something, it can go so quickly. By the time you try and make a point, so much damage has already happened. But anyways, here we go. JC. 2C works. I don't feel like it should have, but it did. Trading JCs right now. And Robert really pushing in a way that I feel like he hasn't done at the start.
Yeah,
of rounds.
I think he might be feeling the momentum. He's riding that kind of high from the last game. Nice. That was a really sneaky anti-air. Sorry, instant overhead.
JC. Andy sort of stuttered there, maybe considering the throw. Goes with the jump. 6-6C. Oi. Robert with rage.
Oh, and that'll do it.
I think Andy's throw ratio, whiff versus connect, is not in favor.
Dude,
of
it's so
right
low right now.
Yeah.
Nice. Chasing down that jump back. Nice. Punishes the deflect attempt with the raged version of the DP.
Robert in the orange. Oh my goodness.
Good defense from Andy.
Very nice. Okay. Ooh, okay, that was a good check because I think there was a throw coming after that. I think there was a throw coming after that too. He's checking very well right now.
And he's got to be very careful about using those sword normals once Robert lands in front of him, because Robert has shown that he's capable of doing the empty jump deflect. That's opened up Andy, I think, at least once, maybe twice in his set.
I think I remember twice, but it's a really good point. Deflects are definitely in Robert's favor right now. And that makes me think, you know, Juve's air counter can be really, really scary tool that we haven't quite seen yet.
Oh no! Exposed as a fucking masher. Get fucked, Andy. And he gets punished for that.
8-5C for that. I'm actually surprised. Okay, this is match round here. Andy bursts. He's in the red. Oof.
He went for the 6-6C. Oh man, and he just gets beat by that chunky ass jump C from Shizumaru.
Yeah, I feel like, talk about ratios. Excuse me, the 6-6 ratio anti-air has not been in his favor either. I think once it was clean, other than that, it's gotten beat and traded. So that really hasn't been working either.
Yeah, I agree. And you know, that's normally a hallmark of Andy's gameplay is the fact that he's so good at choosing the right option out of his runs. But really, it hasn't been working out in this set against Robert, and I think that's testament to Robert's air mobility.
Yeah, I was actually commenting a couple weeks ago. I knew Robert initially from Charlotte, and watching his Charlotte again 2 or 3 weeks ago, it made me sort of feel like he sort of wishes he was playing Charlotte just by the way he played her. But in the past couple weeks, as I watched Robert Shizu, you can tell he's totally embraced this character. He's changed his play style completely with this character. He's doing everything he can to maximize this character. So he's doing a hell of a job of it. Currently
Yeah,
at 5-3
definitely
over
agree.
Andy. Yeah. Here we got the color change from Andy.
Oh, could have been a bigger punish there. I'm not sure if that might have been a mistake or not.
I feel like he was uncertain. I think for a second there, he might have thought, I'm just going to trade not in my favor. Am I going to get eaten up? Universal overhit.
Oh, almost chased the backdash with that.
Wow.
Very nice punish. On the, what the hell, Andy OCR? Excuse me?
Now, there has been talk. Okay.
Nah, you're done. You're done. Pack it up. Pack it up.
All right, there has been talk in shady, dark, smoke-filled Sam Show rooms about the potential use of bursting in the first round. So I'm not entirely surprised to see it, but it's still up for debate. Andy with the life lead.
Nice. Oh, and he tries to make a big read with that jump forward there. Oh no, it's gonna whip. Big opportunity.
Interesting.
Good movement from Andy, playing very slippery now that he's got such a massive life lead, and it pays off for him, taking that round very convincingly. He still doesn't have a rage bar though. Nice air to air.
Last round here, and ooh, right in his face. Like, are you gonna dodge or not? I think he's collecting data. He did that before. Nice block.
Oh, good punish.
Interesting. Ooh.
That was a good low block on that 6K of Roberts. Oh, nice. Sneaks in the throw.
You sort of got to expect it. He was running up in his face to see what he would do. When he did nothing, he went for the throw. But that's data for both players now. They can, Robert can just as easily use that against Andy. Now, relatively close here. Final round. No conversion there from Andy. Again.
That was such a smart jump back B, though. The way he timed that was beautiful. Nice jump back C. Again, kind of the same thing. Kind of like fuzzy jump back. Nice.
Anti-air 5B takes it. And I respect Andy making that call because just with the way of Robert's movement, really tempting that throw or that dodge, getting in his face, Andy was responding by jumping back. I feel like the longer that went on, eventually he was going to get an ESIN or he was going to get tossed. He had to close that out quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. And you bring up a good point. The way that Robert was moving, he was definitely kind of daring Andy to dodge. Since Andy has been showing that he is capable of using that to great effect. But he never bit on that. And that's why he was doing those jump backs, those delayed jump backs. And that was really an ingenious move and kind of shows that he's on another level currently of the mind games.
So Robert's currently at 5, Andy at 4. Still a close set. Ooh. JC 66D. Run up throw does not work. Conversion from Robert. Again.
Nice jump C.
Now it's making me want to check the frame data because that thing looks like it comes out fast. Ooh, nice. Ooh.
Oh my god, chunky.
Lord. Cut him up. I love it. Oh, that's bad. That's real bad. Oh no.
Yeah, this round might already be over for Andy. Now, if I'm Robert, I'm gonna try to like lame him out, you know, until that rage bar goes away. And it looks like he is doing that.
Really good point. And I mean, for the viewer's pleasure, it might not be the best case scenario, but it's a good call. If I was Andy, I'd actually keep hitting him just to get him into rage and let him burn his rage too. But eventually, Robert just says, "Whatever, it's over."
Well, the thing is, though, I think if he starts hitting Robert is just gonna kill him as soon as he gets really high up, you know?
Excellent point. Yeah, not thinking clearly. Andy not willing to abandon the throw, and it paid off there. JC.
Oh, nice. Canceling the low into the DP. Very good awareness from Robert.
Well, Robert, you know we want to cancel that.
Oh, yo, he was going for the Kotir there, but a little bit too slow.
Okay, Robert's popped right up in his face. Oh my goodness!
Not quite enough.
Now, what do? I kind of feel like you back off. I would almost take it. Oh no! Fuck. Pop! Oh my god! Oh,
nice.
Why would you jump? He was waiting. I feel like Robert gave that to him. He didn't need to do that.
I agree. I think, especially that spacing where it's such an easy jump poke for Jubei. I don't know that was such a good decision to make.
No, and you could just tell by Andy's the posture that he had. He was like, "I am waiting for you to jump," and he did, and he took it. So I think that is now 5-5. Andy closing that gap. Clearly a very close set here. Let's see where it progresses at this point.
So I think I forget, did Andy take the first game in this set?
He did. I think it went 1-2 and then 1. I can't remember, but Andy did take the first one because you remember Robert Eason.
Oh, that's right. I remember. Yeah, you're right. Well, either way, it's going to be a good breath of fresh air for him to retake this the game lead if he can manage it.
And shout outs to Robert at the character select screen. And, I feel like he and a lot of the Mexican players often get the reputation of just all guns blazing at all times. So I love to see him just taking a breather here.
All right, some of the people in chat I think were wondering if he's going to change character.
Charlotte? No.
Looks like he's not doing it, but I suppose it is still an option, and that remains true for Andy as well. He plays a number of characters at a very proficient level. So,
yeah, I don't know. You have to wonder. It's first to 10. We're at the 5 mark now, 5 even. If that time does come, when is it? You'd have to assume it's sooner rather than later. But we'll see what they decide to do.
The way I see it, I think it's close enough that neither player, I think, should be really looking into switching. Like as soon as the score starts kind of going away from them, then maybe they can look into it. But until then, I would say, stick to what you know.
For sure. And a little bit of that gets me thinking. Robert's backup is Char, and I remember Didi at Lunar pulling out Char versus Andy, and that did not work out. I wonder if Robert remembers. Probably not.
Yo, fuck this monkey. I'm so sick of seeing him.
Dude, don't talk about my monkey like that. Come on.
No, fuck you and fuck your monkey, man. I hate him. But I hate this rabbit too.
It is bizarre to me, these loading screens. Like how, why? Oh
shit. Okay. Our first one of the night. Damn.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you, SNK. Muchas gracias.
The music dropped and Andy is gone.
Oh shit. All right.
So it was like a serious thing. Things got ugly. You hear that? Nothing.
Well, it wouldn't be a Sam Show set without, somebody getting dropped from the lobby. So we're giving you guys the authentic experience here.
For sure. So honestly, it is a good time for an intermission when you think about it. 5-5. It's been a hell of a set so far. A lot of back and forth. Both players evenly matched, just as we hoped they would be. Right now, after all the talk and the buildup, I feel like they're delivering. So now is a good time for a little breather for everybody. I'm sure the players don't feel that way, but it gives us a chance to sort of soak that all in.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of sucks for Andy because he was the one that had just won two games straight, and so he was kind of hot. But
yeah. And I'm a big believer in momentum too. That's always in the back of my mind, and how you are able to adjust either in your favor or against it, taking it back or riding it. But so that is a good point. And you do have to feel for him. Hopefully, both players don't dally. They get back in here and we get this rolling again.
Also, a reminder, everybody, Samurai Showdown collection, the Neo Geo collection, I believe that's going to be free to get on the Epic Games Store. I believe it's starting tomorrow, and 11. I think it lasts for a week. Oh, okay.
Is it the 11th, or am I wrong? Now you got me wondering. I thought it was the same day as 7, and 7's on the 11th, but I could be wrong.
Okay. That's probably it then, because I don't remember dates. All the days, they kind of run together for me at this point.
Why they're releasing both of those games on the same day or even on the same week, I'll never know. Like, that sounds like the worst marketing decision ever, but
well, I mean, the Neo Geo collection is free to own, or it's free to get
on EGS.
Yeah, for a week. So
yeah, so everyone should do that. I'm doing that.
Well, no, it's free to obtain for that week, and then you keep it forever. That's my understanding.
Correct.
So for those of you that are asking in the chat, so be sure to get it. And a reminder, I will be running the side tournament at Evo for 5 special. But anyways, they're going back into the set.
Andy keeping that color. Got those earth tones rocking right now.
Nice backdash and good punish on the throw attempt from Robert.
Yeah, and the shoes on the other foot now with whip throws. Woof, big chunky.
Chunky. Yeah.
You run like a madman. I don't blame you. Just get the hell out of there.
Yeah, this kid's fucking terrifying.
Yeah. Interesting. So you talk about that momentum. Right now, Andy's looking like he maintained all of it, but Robert pushing back.
Nice recoil cancel. That's, I think, the first recoil cancel that we've seen tonight, maybe?
Maybe. Robert now really putting on the pressure.
Oh my goodness! I think he was expecting a panic jump from Andy at that very instant, but Andy did not give it to him.
And for a player who can play very frantic, Andy keeping it cool.
Oh wow, that was beautiful.
And they are just playing right in each other's faces. Whip throw from Andy this time, paying the ultimate price for it. That could be the end of the round.
Yeah, but gotta wait out that rage, Oh, never mind. He doesn't even get it yet.
Man, I wasn't thinking about it at all. Just, I want you dead.
I guess because Andy was on the sword, he didn't really want to give him a chance to come back, with that sword.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's a good thought. Universal overhead.
Oh, nice.
Give me your resources. Oh, you gotta love that, man.
Great trade for Andy.
Okay. Well, he took some damage. Ooh, he took a lot of damage, but he didn't take the weapon flip. JC.
Yeah, that jump over, it could have been very painful, actually, had Robert pressed E-Send rather than a close B.
True that. Oh, my gosh. And I almost feel like a lot of things are happening, but for Andy, the JC has been really working out in his favor. Ooh. Some good damage. Pops.
Oh my goodness. Went for the cheeky run-up throw, and he did not expect Robert to be holding up back.
But he was. So Robert coming back from the little intermission there, takes that game. Andy looking very strong. They both made good moves, but really that whiff throw at the end there by Andy was enough.
Yeah, it honestly came down to like the last hit, and whenever you make a guess like that, it's literally just a coin flip, really.
Yeah, because up until that point, Andy had done so much right, getting that meter from him via the SSM. Like, there was a lot of good there, but it just shows, as you said, one mistake, you really pay for it in this game. The monkey. And what is that dude holding?
Is that like a mallet? There's like that Japanese folktale of like the rabbits on the moon with like they're like pounding the rice cakes.
What?
Yeah, it's like a common
as
thing.
Fuck. they're on the moon pounding
Yeah,
rice
they're on the
cakes?
moon, dude, and they're making rice cakes.
That's intense. I want some of those rice cakes. All right, here
Oh,
we go.
yeah.
All right, Robert saying chase me. That JB, it's a wall.
Nice. And he's using those floats again, the float jump Bs. Kind of like the way he opened up the set, you know, he kind of went away from that and he started playing a bit more aggressively midway through the set, but now he's back at it. So I think kind of that breather reset things a little bit.
Strong strategy, really. You can't blame him. That JB, the floats, it's really hard to approach. Run up throw, no hovering in his face this time. I'm pressing you. Throw connects. 660 whiffs, and he counters with 5B, JB, far 5B. Robert in the red.
Nice backdash over the 2C attempt. Oh my goodness, that 5C. I was about to say,
you're dead, man.
Bro, I was about to say, Andy's been using the 5Bs very well that round. I think like 5 or 6 connected during that one round.
Yeah, it was just a barrage of damage on Robert from Andy at the end there.
I'm seeing a lot of recoil cancels out of Andy right now. He's playing a little bit, I don't know, like
loose.
Yeah, loose, I guess.
They're all D-class. Ooh, JC. Ooh, oh, very nice play from Andy there. JC presses, does not care. Give me your weapon. And there it is. I've heard talk. Yeah, JB takes it. I've heard talk about the meta on the burst changing. Andy perhaps putting that to the test here.
So we're now at 6-6. This set is looking like it might go the full distance.
I'm happy. I want to.
Yeah, likewise. I mean, both these players are such a treat to watch.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm so glad we were able to put this together. We really owe it all to Cal's shit talk and Kotir not want to take it anymore. So
yes, thank you, Cal, the catalyst of all these good things.
Oh man!
First we saw the blow up, and now we get to see this ridiculously amazing match.
All right, Earth Tone Andy. We got the blue Shizu coming from Robert. Let's do it. Blocks that. Very good choice.
And I'm not sure if that's a punish or not, but you know, since he's so minus. Oh wow! What the hell?
Wow. Give me your resources. That feels so good.
Especially in the first round like that.
So was it worth it? Andy, what are you going to do?
Nice.
Universal overhead. Ooh, JC.
Good punish on the throw attempt.
Very good. Whoa, Andy's swinging. JC.
Again. Yo, he's so good at catching people jumping on their own wake up.
Oh my goodness. Universal overhead from Andy takes it. Wow, that was tight. Super close. Okay, Robert, no more resources, and Andy up around. Okay, that could have been really bad.
Shizumaru, of course, does have that major comeback potential with the turnaround punch, the crazy downpour. So that could come into play in this set. It hasn't really been coming into play. But,
no,
you know.
When you said that, you got me thinking. We haven't seen many of them, and then what we have seen, they've all been blocked.
I think 1 or 2 might have connected, but
right.
The rest have definitely been blocked and punished appropriately by Andy.
So Robert needs a big play.
Oh, and that could have been the game. Nice, it still is. And Andy now up 7-6 against Robert.
Very convincing game. I'm not going to predict him in Robert's mind, but he was almost playing at the end there like he was sort of like, okay, next game. I'm over this one. So Andy, I think the first lead he's had since game 1? Question mark?
Yep.
So now, for the first time, well, other than game 1, Robert's sort of in the deficit, looking up at Andy, saying, what am I going to do? We'll see what the response is. Hammering rice cakes on the moon?
Yep. That's the folktale.
I bet you they taste so good.
Yeah, I'm sure. Some moon cake.
Moon cakes. All right. JB. And with jumping being so strong in this game, you get this really interesting neutral in Sam show. Look at that. JC.
Yeah, it looks really it looked kind of messy, you know, when you're not really sure what you're looking at. You're not sure why people are moving the way that they do, but like when these players do it, you can tell there's a lot of intentionality between all of their actions.
For sure, and you end up oftentimes seeing this over under play as they're trying to figure out each other's intentions. Well, back at the match, Andy OCR takes that first game like he's done so many times convincingly.
Nice chase down.
I almost feel like, ooh.
Wow, that was a really good call out from Robert. Oh, he went for it again, but no dice that time. Bro, that jump C. Oh, and the deflect. Oh, and he drops the SSM input like a day 1 scrub.
I don't know. Robert, are you feeling the pressure? Now is not the time.
Nice jump forward C, catching him jumping backwards.
Wait. Very little life to leave on the board and then pop, but
nice jump. That was beautiful. Really, really convincing game from Andy, and that puts him up 8-6 now against Robert.
Yeah, 2 really strong wins, and we were talking about momentum earlier. Andy really pulling it back there because both those wins were very dominating, fashion. It felt like so. Robert is going to have to figure something out here. We talked about character changes. Now would be the time. We don't see it. I think we're looking at Shizu all the way through. Probably same for Jube.
Yeah, I would agree. I think both these players have made a case for, sticking it out for the entire set with these characters.
No, I didn't get the chance because they were just punching each other constantly in that last round. But JC from Jube, I feel like has been doing most of the work.
Yeah, dude. I was gonna say, I wish there was like a way to check like how much damage you've been getting from certain things throughout like a set, because that would be really interesting, I think, to see.
I'd say at least 3 life points.
Yeah.
A good start from Robert, getting some damage. I feel like he needs to sort of get back to that play, but Andy is just sniffing him out with these JCs. Again, oh my goodness. Universal overhead. Robert is now.
Dude, remember all those times Andy was whipping grabs? I think the shoe's kind of on the other foot right now. Oh, and just as I say that, Robert connects with the grab. What the fuck is going on?
What is going Jumpy.
Yo, what the fuck?
I feel like Robert is feeling the pressure. And that's not gonna get you the win. I understand where he's coming from, and he's an incredibly strong player. But I feel like if you're gonna get back in this, you gotta chill.
Yeah. And obviously, I think Jube, while he does like having rage, it's not as big of a deal for Jube to be raged as it is for Shizumaru to be raged. So that exchange definitely works out in Andy OCR's favor.
That's very true, but you can make the argument that Shizu doesn't need it either, solely because of tap. He's got that massive damage option too.
Bro, this is looking pretty done.
Yeah.
Okay, Andy closes that 5B.
So that's 9-6 for Andy OCR. Andy is at money match point here. Robert's sitting at 6. I don't think you'll see a character change at this point. If it were me, I would say stick at the character select screen for a little while, maybe grab a drink or something, because Robert is more than capable, not to steal from Andy. Andy's been playing amazing, but Robert is more than capable, but he is really starting to stretch himself a little thin. I feel like he's starting to panic, and it's getting him killed.
Man, this is a pretty tense moment, I think, for the AR boys.
Yeah, they took the first game, but as we mentioned before, we have arguably the best in both regions. I would say they are going up against each other, and Team Winston, Andy OCR, right now is sitting on the precipice of a very big victory. Robert, if he wants to say anything about that, now's the time. Jason.
And man, if this was just a first to 5, Robert would have ran away with it. But ever since that lobby disconnect, it's really been Andy's like the Andy story,
Yeah, I think Robert took that first game, and then Andy just sort of blew forward, like a lot of momentum just pushed. Okay, D.
Nice jump back, see?
Yeah, Andy a little bit of a deficit here. In the red.
Oh, nice jump, C. Good block. That could be really big. And now I think it's a one-touch game.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, what the fuck? That was crazy.
That was odd. I don't know if that was intentional or not. That seemed like an odd choice. 6-6B. 6-6D. Universal overhead.
Nice early jump B, catching Andy's anti-air attempt, and nice punish on the grab attempt there.
Yeah, it was sort of an odd throw attempt. I'm wondering if that was a mistake as well, because Robert was nowhere near him. Andy down around, currently in the orange. Now in the red.
I need to rage explode at some point here.
Deep in the red. And there it is.
Nice jump C. That's how you get back into it. Nice. Oh my goodness, are you serious?
Very good. I thought he had that.
That dodge was so smart. Robert is showing that he is not out of it at all. 9-7 now.
And you watch those last two games, a lot of people were probably feeling like that was the end, and Robert said, no, I got something to say about that. I'm not dead yet, ladies and gentlemen. That was super strong, super convincing.
Yeah, and it was so fast that you got to wonder if maybe the momentum might be shifting yet again in Robert's favor.
We're gonna have to wait and see. I mean, it's definitely a possibility. So 9-7, Team Winston, Andy OCR needs one more game. Arcade Rumble, Robert trying to rally here.
And could you imagine if that random ass run forward dodge had worked from Andy? That would have been the most sick shit ever.
I don't know what he was looking for, but it was pretty wild. And if it did, yeah, I would have popped off. 6-6D blocked. 2B. 6-6D.
Okay. Catches them doing something with that grab. And now Andy had a pretty sizable life lead. Nice! Again, catching him jumping backwards on wake up. I think that's been the story. Robert has been jumping a lot on wake up, and he's been getting hit a lot by the jump C.
Yeah, it's been the ballad of the jump C. Andy's really been making him pay for that. I feel like that's been the button for Andy. Okay, Robert with his resources pushing very hard now. JC.
Yeah, good adjustment from Robert, doing early jump buttons to catch Andy, baiting Andy into doing a jump in. Oh my god!
Wow.
And no rage explosion? Are you serious?
So, the guts on this man or the mistake from this man? I'm not so sure.
I don't know about this one, man. I feel like you just have to rage explode there. Oh no!
Ooh. And that's the game.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
Andy OCR now taking the set 10-7 against Arcade Rumble's Robert. Very, very high level set. That was truly a pleasure to watch.
It really was. And super close. I mean, it was what we expected. I mean, we couldn't have said what the result was going to be, but that it was going to be an excellent set. We knew that was coming, and they definitely delivered. I don't think this is the last we've heard from either of these players playing against each other. I'm sure we'll see them again, hopefully one day in an offline environment. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, likewise. And of course, who we can't forget, the previous set as well, Kotir and Kao. Of course, Kotir taking it, but still a very nice set to have watched as well. So thank you to all 4 of those players for coming out and putting on such a good show for us here.
Yeah, absolutely. It really was a pleasure. It's just so nice to see the community gathered together and celebrating the game. It shows that, video games, especially with everything going on in the world, they seem like a really trite and insignificant thing. But, it is, I think looking at the chats and looking at the numbers here, it shows that there is a power to bring people together in video games and fighting games in particular. And it's just nice to see the community together. And
that's a really good way to put it. I think that we've really been needing something, some positivity, and I think it's been so great, I think, for the Arcade Rumble guys to step up and put on this show and give us all a place to come together, appreciate each other's friendship and all that. So really, thanks everybody. Thanks to everybody in the community. Thank you to Arcade Rumble. Thank you to you as well, Sugar Bear. It has been a pleasure to commentate with you. It's been really great.
You too, Rue. It really was a pleasure. Hopefully we get to do it more in the future. I think it was a lot of fun, and hopefully everybody enjoyed it. Shout outs, just sort of retreading some familiar territory. Shout outs to Angel Freak for helping to set this up, and Markio, who is a wizard behind the boards. He did a great job. Y'all don't get to see what he's doing, but I can assure you he's doing a lot and put on a really good production here. So thank you, everyone.
All right. No, thank you guys for joining us today, and thank you to the viewers and especially the players. Right, they were the ones who put on this amazing show. Shout outs to all of you. You're top of the line players, and nobody can deny that. Regardless of who won or who lost, you're all amazing players. Thank you, Aru, for being here. It's a pleasure to have you, and Sugar. Thank you, Markio, and everybody else in the AR team and staff doing things for us. And I hope we can have an event like this in the future. If you guys know someone who would like to run some sets against the AR guys, any of you, or if you want to run an important set and you don't have the means to stream it and you would like to, to show off your skills, just let us know, send Markio or send me a message, and probably we can figure something out, right? We would like the community to grow, and yeah, everybody's welcome. Is there anything else you'd like to say, my guys?
Actually, yeah, there's one thing I wanted to shill. So if you guys have been paying attention to Anime Evo Twitter, they just announced today that we are in fact running Samurai Showdown 5 Special online. And I'm going to be one of the TOs for that. So if you guys have any interest at all in that game, please look into not only registering, but if you've got the free time or the means, if you could also volunteer, that would make things so much easier for me, and I would appreciate it very much. Again, thank you guys all. And also remember to pick up the Samurai Showdown Neo Geo collection for free next week.
All right.
I got one thing too, Angel, real quick.
Go ahead.
Thursdays, I'm sure you all know DMV. We're doing Sam Show 7 again. We took a week break, which was good, and we'll be back this Thursday. Will is doing, I think, some funding or collecting funds through Matt Chirino, and he will be using all the funds collected during that week for a donation. I can't remember. Was it the Minnesota Freedom Fund? I can't remember. He will be using that money to make a donation as well as raffling off a figurine. So definitely keep an eye on that. Everyone's out here trying to do their part under the banner of Sam Show. So we definitely appreciate your participation.
All right, perfect. And also make sure you follow Sugar Bear on Twitter, and also Aru. Aru's Twitter handle is incorrect. It's double O, not only one. So make sure you follow them for more Sam Show information and tournaments and all this. And again, thank you all for being here, and we'll be seeing you next time. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that was great.